So let's start with sort of the big news, the biggest, latest news. Hyundai announced a partnership with Amazon to allow their dealers to sell through the massive online platform. It's probably raised more questions than answers at this point, but for our audience that needs a catch up, like where does this stand? When's it getting started, and how soon can people, shop in their pajamas?
Right. So Amazon is arguably the largest e-commerce platform on the globe. And when Hyundai announced this news at the LA Auto Show, it became kind of like the marquee announcement. And everyone was wondering, how is this going to work? Because even pre-COVID, dealers have been toying with the notion that cars can or should or maybe should have a little bit ease consumers should have a little bit more easy time to purchase vehicles online. So what Amazon and Hyundai are doing is they're really just kind of working together based on a partnership they already had established in 2018, which was essentially an online showroom where consumers could go and shop for and build via a configurator a Hyundai vehicle, and then it would put them right back in the hands of their local dealer. So it was a lead generator of sorts. But now what they're doing is they're leveling up the partnership. They say that you're going to be able to complete the whole transaction end to end, including some challenging things like F&I. And of course, trade-ins is a big question mark on how they will facilitate that. But yeah, I mean, there are digital natives out there who want this, and of course, with Tesla and Rivian being direct to consumers, it feels more comfortable. There's a lot of research online that consumers can go access on their own. Test drives may not even be to that corner of the buyer, the market, as important as maybe they would to another generation of buyers. So starting in January, Hyundai is going to use 18 of its dealers across some of the major markets in the US, like LA, Denver. And they're going to work out these kinks, and then they're going to be selling direct to Amazon employees in those areas as kind of like their beta audience. And they're just going to have to figure out how to get this done.
So they'll do that pilot, and then they'll expand it, offer it up to other Hyundai dealers, and eventually to the public.
Yeah, it's a 6-month pilot. And then they say at the end of 2024, they'll roll it out to the whole dealer network, Hyundai
Hmm.
dealer network, and dealers will be able to opt into it. And then Hyundai Motor Group, which consists of also Genesis, the luxury arm, and then Kia, although, Kia and Hyundai operate as separate companies. Um, Amazon told us, you and I, that they were thinking of expanding it to those two brands first. And I would say they'll step outside of it once they work everything out. And I will say that Hyundai, the brand itself, does have the competitive edge getting out ahead of this. It's good for it's good for consumers to see that they're being innovative. Again, going back even post COVID, people wanted to buy cars online. So Hyundai starting with Amazon is really gives them a competitive edge.
So shifting technologies from the retail platform, digital retail platform, to powertrain,
Yes.
Hyundai and the Hyundai Motor Group, but let's stick with the Hyundai brand. Has really been leaning in on EVs. They've got some great models, or some exciting models for the mid to up market part of the market, but they've really been disadvantaged by being left out of the Inflation Reduction Act, which provides the incentives for consumers for vehicles that are made in North America. One of the many limits on the IRA, but a crucial one being that the vehicles must be assembled in North America. How's Hyundai coping with that?
Well, last year, after they announced that they were going to invest upwards of $5 billion, which the amount has now grown, to build a huge battery and EV complex outside of Savannah, Georgia, the Biden administration announced that there would be tweaks to the Inflation Reduction Act that would limit imported EVs from being eligible for the $7,500 credit. That happened right after they had announced this huge investment. So they were disappointed. I mean, they'll still tell you today. I just spoke with Randy Parker at the LA Auto Show, and he still said, we were disappointed. We're still disappointed. But there is a provision within the IRA that allows consumers to have the $7,500 passed through the captive if they choose to lease. So that's been really attractive, and they've been leaning on that hard. And with the Ioniq 6 sedan, which came out, which is their newest entry, Randy said that that was 60% leasing mix. So
Hmm.
consumers are really wanting that tax credit. I mean, I don't blame them. And then for Ioniq 5, which was their first entry, their first dedicated entry, we can't forget the Kona, that is transacting at 50% lease. So that's been helping them move units. It's been keeping, their products competitive with the other North American builds. I mean, now it's all about material sourcing and battery assembly, but it's keeping them competitive with other EVs in the market.
That's really interesting. Yeah, 50% and above lease penetration is very high. Almost certainly necessary to compete, especially with the way Tesla's been cutting prices in those competitive segments. What's the progress like at the Savannah site that's under construction? When is that going to open? It seems like they had tried to accelerate some of the timelines given the disadvantage on tax credits.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they want this thing done and built and ready to go so they can they're bringing 6 vehicles, 6 EVs to the US. They're partnering with LG Energy Solutions, and they are going to be building batteries on site at the complex. And they upped their investment amount by about $2 billion. And I think it's going to bring about $8,500 or 8,500 jobs to the area. So this is a really big undertaking. They originally said that they would be done in the beginning of 2025, but I know Jose Munoz is really pushing, and Randy, again, at the LA Auto Show, said they are accelerating as much as they can. And so they're shooting for Q3 of 2024. Or
Wow.
hoping for. He said at least early prototypes would be rolling off the lines by then. So they're moving
Okay.
fast.
It's so hard to accelerate construction of a factory, but if anybody would do it, it would be Hyundai.
Right. And they just celebrated their 1 year of groundbreaking, and I've seen photos, and it's really, I mean, they are building fast, and there's a lot of construction workers out there, and is actually quite impressive.
Before I let you go, I want to make sure we talk at least a little about Kia, uh, Hyundai's sibling brand, biggest rival in many ways, but also, they share a lot of platforms and technology. A lot of excitement around the EV9.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're waiting any minute. When's it coming out? Might spill over a little bit into 2024 in terms of on sale. But the EV9 is essentially pioneering the 3-row kid hauler segment for EVs. There's nothing out there like it in the mainstream. Of course, the Tesla Model X, which is quite expensive, has a 3rd row, although it's a little bit tight in the back. And this is a boxy, unlike the Tesla, which leans more into aerodynamics. This is a boxy, rugged, off-roading type aesthetic. It looks like the Telluride, which is their lightning in a bottle crossover, of course. And it's going to be affordable. I think they announced that it would be mid 50,000. It's going to have over 300 miles in range in one of its lightest configurations, which is a rear drive with a long range battery. So it's meant to be affordable. And then what's really important to highlight is that Hyundai, again, nimble production capability. They're bringing the EV9 production to the US, to the West Point factory, which they, again, increased investment on the factory to retool it for electrification. So more investment funds going there. And then that way they can capture that $7,500 tax incentive. But Eric Watson, who is Kia's sales chief, has said they will lean on leasing again until they can get that credit passed down for buyers.
Do we know the price of the EV9? I would assume it would be above the threshold for the EV tax credits.
There it's in the so the threshold is 70,000 for SUVs, and I believe that configured at the highest end, which I think they are doing, they've confirmed the GT line. Yeah, they have. That's probably going to creep past the 70,000, but the other more everyday, less sporty. I mean, it's a rugged vehicle, but they put the GT line stuff on it, goes really fast. So then you lose range too. But that's going to be in the $50,000 range.
Okay, so a little more manageable, a little more in reach. But Kia does have some plans for some more affordable EVs, stuff in the mid 30s. What's the timing like on that? Is that coming soon? We need it soon.
Yeah, we do need it soon, but we need that meta plant to open as well before it really makes a difference. So, and in LA, in addition to the revised Sorrento they showed, which has similar styling to the EV9 and the Telluride, which is not a surprise. Kia also debuted two EV concepts: the EV3 and the EV4. And the EV3 was a Seltos-sized crossover, and then the EV4 is a sedan with Kia Forte similar dimensions, so both small. And prior to that, Kia CEO said that the new models will be 2 of 4 affordable EVs coming to the US. So we will have to wait and see in terms of whether they bring it to production. They have a good habit of doing it. They show concepts that they typically build. And Steve Center, the Kia America COO, did confirm that yes, they're going to build it, but yes, that's their pattern of showing concept and then building them. And then these both should start in the mid 30,000 range, which would make them affordable EVs. And I just want to put in there that Honda had initially said it was going to come out with in 2027, I believe the timing was, an offering of affordable EVs, which they've now canceled with GM. And so I think the term affordable EVs can be transferred from the promise from Honda over to Kia, because now Kia is truly taking over that phrase, affordable EVs.
All right. Well, we'll see what they bring to market and when, and how the competition continues to grow between Hyundai, Kia, and even Honda. Carly Schaffner, thanks so much for joining me today.